Good morning, guys. Hope everyone had a great weekend, and happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. All right, we are back in business. Today we're going to cover some more pushing movements. We're going to do a little bit of chest, a little bit of shoulders, and a little bit of triceps. I do want to use the resistance bands, so if you don't have resistance bands, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do these exercises. But nevertheless, I want to walk you guys through them, because these principles that I'm going to cover with the resistance bands, you can also use when you're using dumbbells or cables and other regular gym equipment. All right. So first one we're going to start off with is a chest fly. Okay. We're going to use the resistance bands. I've got it mounted up high on my door here. If you remember which one the chest fly was, it's going to be right here. And then we're just going to come in this way. I'm going to walk you through the steps, and we'll go on the shoulders after that. Okay, so here we go. I'm all warmed up, ready to go. Make sure my resistance bands are nice and even, so I'm not tighter on one side than I am on the other, because that's going to affect the weight of the band. From there, I'm going to take a big step forward, and right here, got my staggered stance. I'm going to be nice and stable so I don't swing and I'm not off balance. Okay, so I've got my arms out to the side. Let me scooch over a little bit. Got my arms out to the side. I do have my elbows slightly bent, so I'm not completely locked out. Okay, I got my elbows slightly bent, and then from here, all I'm going to do is give a hug or hug a tree. Think of it that way. Back out, hug a tree, back out, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to shoot for 15 to 20. Okay, so a couple things to focus on. The first thing, remember that this is not a press, right? So we're not going to do this. I'm not moving at my elbows. My elbows are bent, but they are still. So the angle of my elbows does not change throughout the movement the way it would for a press. So right here, elbows steady, nice and bent. I'm going to come in for a big hug. 1, back out all the way back to my elbows, or even with my shoulders. So I don't need to be all the way back here hyperextended either. As long as I go back to where my elbows are even with my shoulders, I'm going to be good to go right there. Okay, and then we're coming in for another 1, 2, so on and so forth. Okay, if you want another way to think about this, when you're going through the movement, think about bringing your biceps together instead of bringing your hands together. Okay, because what's going to happen as you start to get fatigued and you start to get a little bit tired, your form is going to falter if you're focusing on your hands, and you're going to end up doing one of these numbers. And you're going to chicken wing it. This is not good for us. We want to stay nice and steady with the elbows. Squeeze your biceps together. Give me a hug. Back out. Give me a hug. Back out. Or hug a tree, if you want to think of it that way. So on and so forth. And that's going to be our chest fly. Okay? 3 to 4 sets. 15 to 20 reps. All right? All right. So, shoulder exercise. We're going to do a lateral raise to the side. For that, we're going to have to take the band off of the door. Now, with this one, what I like to do is lay the band right on the ground and just put my foot on the band. Okay? Now, of course, over here, I'm going to be a little bit too loose. So what I can do is take some more slack off the band and make it tighter, so now the weight is heavier, right? So you can adjust the resistance on the band depending on where or how much slack you've taken off of the band with your foot, okay? All right, so from here, we move it a little bit over right here. Okay, so foot on the band, I've anchored it down on that side. From here, again, slightly bent elbow. I'm not locked out, but I'm not in here either. Slightly bent elbow. From here, what I'm gonna do is raise my arm out to the side by lifting my elbow. Okay, so it looks something like this. Back down. 2, back down. Now, what do I mean by lifting my elbow? What I want to focus on is pushing my elbow up rather than pushing my hand up. And here's what the difference looks like. This is me pushing my hand up, right? Look at where my hand is in relation to my elbow. My hand is high and my elbow is low. That's not what I want. I'm not getting much contraction from my shoulder here. What I want to do is slightly turn my palms down, which is going to make me point my elbow up. And then from here, when I lift my elbow all the way till I'm about parallel to the ground, I'm going to notice that my elbow and my hand are about even whereas before I was more like this, right? So what this is going to make me do is give me a lot stronger contraction right here on my shoulder muscle, because that's the muscle I'm trying to work with this exercise, okay? Back down to the starting position, back up, back down, so on and so forth. We're going to get 12 to 15 reps on each side. And then obviously for the other side, same thing. We're just going to switch feet. And then from there, lateral raise to the side on your left. Okay? Again, 3 to 4 sets, 12 to 15 reps on each side. Okay? Remember with this one, the big takeaway is focus on pushing your elbow up rather than your hand. That's going to make you engage your delt muscle being your shoulder muscle, and it's going to keep the stress on the muscle we're actually trying to work, instead of just swinging through the movements for the sake of swinging through the movements, right? We want to move with some purpose, okay? So right here, 3, back down, 4, so on and so forth, okay? All right, we got some shoulders in, or excuse me, we got some chest in, we got some shoulders in. I want to finish up with some triceps, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to mount the bands at the bottom of the door, okay? Or you can even do it halfway up on the door too. Right here. Make it a little lower. That way you can actually move it. So right here, look at where I'm at, right? So I'm just below my waist on the mounting position. So from here, what I'm going to want to do this one-handed. So what I want to do is hold one side, okay? I'm going to hold one side. That way I don't consistently keep losing the tension on the band by going through the movement, right? So right here. And then with the other side, you don't necessarily need the handle, but I guess you could use it if you want. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the band. I'm going to grab the band itself, okay? I'm going to get down at about parallel to the ground, okay? From here, what I want to do is press the band straight back, and we're going to go into a tricep kickback. 1, and then I'm going to come back. 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. Couple things to think about with this one. Adjust the first one being adjust the resistance on the band by adjusting the slack you have depending on how hard or easy it is, right? Number 2, remember that I'm not moving with my shoulders, so my arm from my elbow up stays steady. The only joint, that I'm moving is my elbow joint. All right, so right here. Now, my upper arm is going to be about parallel to the ground. From there, all I'm going to do, press my hand back, extend my arm. 1, back out. 2, back out. 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to go all the way 15 to 20. And again, just like the lateral raise, since we're doing one side at a time, we're going to have to switch. Do the same thing on the other side and do each side individually, okay? And I know we've done this one with dumbbells at the gym. Now, obviously, we don't have access to the gyms, so we're going to improvise and use the resistance bands. Same exact exercise, same exact muscle, different piece of equipment, okay? All right, so we got 3 more exercises we can add to our workout arsenal, okay? So you guys can throw these in with the other pushing days that we've covered. So you can do these on the same days you're doing your chest presses, your shoulder presses, and then the tricep press downs. I think we did those a while back with the resistance bands as well. These are all going to be part of your push group being all your pushing muscles, okay? So give these a shot, you guys. Let me know how they feel. Let me know if you like them. Now, let me know if you hate them. And then obviously if you have questions, I'm here for you.